I'm just a soldier in the morning defeat, staring at the ceiling, paralyzed. It's a fight just to open my eyes. Foggy headed, slow and dazed, struggle to get out of bed in a mental haze. Body's aching, thought won't line up right. Wish there was a switch to turn on the light, but then I take it, that tiny white pill, a rush of hope, a promise to fulfill. Boom, it hits me, a wave of pure energy, brain on fire, body light and free. Clarity explodes, the fog starts to fade, no more pain, a brand new day is made. Thoughts are racing, ideas taking flight, focus sharpened, laser bright. The world's in color, the music's in tune, this feeling of power, gonna see it through. This is the feeling I crave and I need, this is life finally breaking free. Boom, it hits me, a wave of pure energy, brain on fire, body light and free. Clarity explodes, the fog starts to fade, no more pain, a brand new day is made. This feeling's a gift, a helping hand. It lets me be the best that I can. I feel like a human, more than a shell. And if you don't like it, you can fuck off to hell. 'Cause this is the feeling I crave and I need. This is the life finally breaking free. 1, 2, 3, say boom, it hits me, a wave of pure energy, brain on fire, body light and free. Clarity explodes, the fog starts to fade, no more pain, a brand new day is made. One more time, say boom, it hits me, a wave of pure energy, brain on fire, body light and free. Clarity explodes, the fog starts to fade, no more pain, a brand new day is made.
Hello and good morning, my crafty creatures. Oh my goodness, my microphone is almost back to normal, which is always nice. I don't know what happened, but good things happen. I had a fantabulous weekend off. Even though it wasn't all off. Let's see. I did have to work for a few hours on Saturday, but I got my window placed. I need to grout it in. I need to go to Home Depot and get some grout, or Lowe's or a hardware store, get some more grout. I didn't purchase enough grout. But even in just like loose fitting the window in, it is already like blocking so much heat from coming in that window, and it's actually really rather nice. I might be able to work up there more. Which is the entire point, by the way. There's still quite a bit of insulation that I gotta staple up there. I got my new little power staple gun, which is gonna come in handy, save my hands a little bit. I also started on my next big dragon. which I'll show off. I'll show off a little later on in the day. But overall, I had a really, really good weekend. I didn't. On my weekends off, I don't generally like sit and like play on the computer a whole lot. I sit and I crochet, I organize stuff, I do house projects, I play with the dogs, I do yard work because I only get the 2 days off in a row every other week. So it's a special treat. Let's see. Sorry, I'm playing with the music to match my new, more tempered microphone volume. So Sume won presents for July, and he opted for the Wolfies. Let's all be surprised. I can hear the waves of surprise. Today's goal, I'm hoping to get the column that I'm working on all done, and to get through all the confetti stuff on the next call. But luckily, it's just back and forth. So, back and forth for a little bit, but then I do have to pay a bit, smidge of attention. Smidge of attention. This week, I will not be here Thursday or Friday, so it's just going to be today and tomorrow. I am going down to help a friend who is having surgery, so I will not be around. Don't know why I'm playing Thread Chicken, but I am. Today is Monday morning issue. Where are my scissors? Not really an issue. Because I have like 50 billion pairs of scissors, so it's not a huge deal. I just like my little scissors. Doopy-doo. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, that was a crack. Shoulder and elbow as I moved them. Decided that Snap Crackle Pop was their song of choice. Just miles and miles of 939. Mhm. I think I'm going to set very modest goals for August just because of all the shenanigans. Um, I'm hoping to get done this page on Divine Instinct, and I'm hoping to get to 4% since I didn't totally hit 4.25% on call dates because I have a couple of weeks before I start lifeguarding, and only a couple of days during that span am I working both lifeguarding and my job. So I should have time to pop on and do a couple of streams during that time. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna tweak, I'm gonna freak. 8.5 days a week, I'm at the peak of my mystique.
Here's Looms. Doopy-doo, got a bobbin. Got bobbin up my string. Doopy-doopy-doo. Back screen in a second because I got 2 packages today and I don't like leaving them out on my doorstep. I remember what one of them is. I do. He wandered back to his truck. So I'm kind of wondering why he's still sitting outside. I'm gonna string up and get my next piece all set, and then I'm gonna check my mail. Skip on to the end. I'll be right back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, but I'm gonna go rescue my packages. Okie doke, I'm back. No, it's just me and myself and I today, but I'm gonna one of them. I know what it is. It's just my price. Aren't very exciting, but will enable me to do some better labeling. I know what I'm doing after stream. So that's that one. This one's a bit heavier, so I don't know. Oh, they're magnets. I think they're magnets. Are they big magnets? Okay. What kind of magnets did I get? Oh yes, I got super duper powerful magnets. Because I don't mess around when it comes to my magnets actually working and holding stuff up. Okay. So that made me happy. I got stuff. Whew. Now back to the ridiculous amount of 939 that I will be working with. I'm almost done this column though, so. I get it, future. I get it. Okay. La, 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 la. Almost done this call. Hello. Apparently today is Monday, the day of snooze. Mhm. Ah, it's just it's just another Monday here. It's just another manic Monday. I got I got so I went wild and crazy. Wild and crazy, Jules. I spent $20 on some really cool patterns that I've been eyeing for months and months and months now. So I spent $20 on pattern, and I spent like $60 in miscellaneous stuff for my craft fairs. And some of it's starting to come in. So I know. I know. I went wild with my money. I paid bills. I got food. I got ahead of a lot of bills actually. I worked some OT, you know. I get that. I did a little bit of cleaning. We got laundry done at the house. I have to unload and load the dishwasher before I head out today. Um, Well, yeah. Vaccines take the wind out of you. I need to set up a time to get my tetanus one done. I need to get my booster. Oh, goodness. Oh, I totally, like, legit adulted. I got all of my meds set up for the month, and I set up my emails to go out to the doctors to get my C2s when just before they're about to run out. And I emailed the place I'm going to be lifeguarding for to double down on that they're going to actually need me. So I got a lot done this week. I'm most proud of getting all my meds set up for getting my meds set up for the month. Like that is something that I really started out strong with, and then I got a little lazy, and then it just it fell apart, and then I picked it back up again, and I gotta be better about that. Because when I'm actually on all of my supplements and all of the things and whatnot, I actually feel pretty good because I'm very careful about the meds I take, but I'm also very careful about the supplements I take. I don't take anything more than I need. And probably do I take too much of some of the things? Absolutely, because a lot of things overlap. But I got to get back into the rhythm. Oh, ad time. Okay, ads are all. No, so I'm only streaming today and tomorrow. I'm gonna go help my friend on Thursday and Friday, so I won't be up here to stream. I got so earlier this year, there was a major security breach. Um, at where at the hospital that I get my health care from. It was so major that instead of one packet of information that they sent me 4 packets of information. I think it all says the same thing, but I'm gonna double check it and make sure. But I'm just like, dudes. It's funny. I was the other day I was thinking about how much vacation time I have and how much I don't utilize it for reasons we've talked about. I don't have enough staff on my shift, and I'm not the kind of supervisor who goes, "Well, whatever. I know we're short staffed, but I'm still going on vacation." I will never be that kind of leader. I will be rolling in the dirt with my workers until we don't have to roll in the dirt anymore. And so, but I am taking vacation time to help my friend, and I'm taking vacation time because my boss says I need to use vacation time. Like, I had no problems doing the doubles, but she's making me take my vacation time for the 2 weeks that I am doing lifeguarding, save for a couple days here and there, and I have no problems with that. But it's just kind of funny when I take vacation time, it's not because I'm actually taking a vacation. It's because I need time away from work to help things that I think are more important than work. And thinking deeper into that, I'm like, that is so very American. Because we have, and I stopped and I was thinking about it. We as Americans, and I know Jules is an American, so, but as Americans, we are conditioned, and especially my generation of millennial. I'm a Zennial, but the millennial generation is the harder you work, the more you put time, effort, and energy into things, you'll be rewarded. If you work hard, you'll get good things. And fast forward to as I'm uttering these words, we were fucked over. I have worked hard my entire life. And while I do have a few nice things because of the hard work that I have done, I still have to continually bust my ass to maintain the things that I was told that, hey, if you work hard, these will just come to you. No, they do not just come to you. You get them, and then they make you work harder. So that's where I was thinking about that. Is like, I have no problems using my vacation time to help other people out or to make sure things get done. I have such a hard time using my vacation time to just disconnect and be like, no, sorry guys, I don't know who this rock creature is, but she's not here right now. My vacation time is like mission time. It's like, nope, I definitely have it. But and then I feel bad about, like, don't get me wrong. I understand homelessness has many issues. Like there are many ways a person can become homeless. And so many people snap to the worst way someone has become homeless, like drugs or whatever. For me, I get so conflicted because I do have a house. I have space in my house that if push came to shove, I could offer a roof for someone's head. But at the same time, I'm a little greedy where I'm like, no, I worked really hard because when I first got my house, I had 7 other people living with me because that's how I could afford my house. I did what I needed to do in order to afford my house. But through tenacity and hard work and all kinds of things, as I was finally able to afford my house on my own. all on my own. All the bills, everything. Like, even without husband creature, I can afford my house on my own currently. Would it be hard? Oh, fuck yes. But I could afford my house on my own, and I worked really hard to get there. So I get really, really greedy and selfish when it comes to hearing, well, you see people who are homeless, why don't you do something about it? I'll offer them food, I'll offer them some clothes. But I finally worked hard enough for my house that it's mine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't like I kind of miss overnights because I used to work overnights in a house that had several individuals who had dementia, so it was interesting. Um, and Jules, you still work hard. Don't discount what you do. Just because you don't have a W-2 job does not mean you do not work hard. And that's the thing. It's like I recognize that there are a lot of people who do not have homes who bust their ass. They're working the temp jobs. They're sleeping in their cars. They're sleeping in a tent. And in Maine, there are only a couple of seasons where sleeping in a tent is comfortable. And they're working their asses off and they're trying, and the system keeps shutting them down. I get it. I know. I'm not totally stupid. And I sit here and I start thinking about all the injustices and I fall down a rabbit hole and yeah. It's like stay-at-home moms. They work hard. Stay-at-home moms work hard. Like there are so many tasks in this universe that get poo-pooed on because they're not proper they're not proper W-2 jobs that you don't do anything. You're not. Yes. We need the support staff of the functioning world in order to keep moving forward. We need the grandparents who willingly watch their kids while that parent goes to work. We need the moms who are willing to stay home and raise their kids because God, childcare is so expensive. We need the people who are taking care of their elderly family members. Like, we need those people because the services, rest assured, my services aren't cheap, and I make no secret about that. The place where I work, living there is not cheap. Now, mind you, you get everything that you need, but it's not cheap. But sometimes I just think, and there's so many ways to streamline society so that everybody can have at least a roof and some warmth and some shelter. Accommodations don't have to be 5-star, but giving someone enough room to make it theirs so they're warm, um, and they're sheltered and it's theirs and they're safe. And mind you, I'm not think I don't even think that my idea is the greatest idea, but even allow it, like setting up shed size things, 8 by 10, maybe a small room and we have the technology to do these things with a flushing toilet, a bed, and some warmth and heat. Stuff like that. They could have a communal kitchen, but like stuff like that, and making sure that they are safe. There's so many neighborhoods that just aren't safe. Mine being one of them. Mine has gotten a lot safer, but there's still a lot of questionable action going on in my neighborhood. It's pretty much the same down here too. And it's a lot of it's because they regulated childcare so much. And don't get me wrong, I want kids to be safe. I am absolutely a I am absolutely a but I don't think that a kid falling down and scraping their knee while at daycare means that the parents get to sue the daycare for negligence. Because anybody, I don't even have kids and I know this. Kids are accident prone. It should not be something that is just done. Oh, he scraped his knee. I'm going to sue the shit out of you because my kid got hurt. It's like, all the staff should be CPR first aid certified. Absolutely, I get that. There should be a level of insurance that the daycare has to hold. Absolutely. But it's much like the teaching world is parents need to take some grace in understanding that it's not always the person in charge's fault. If you fit in the box, yeah. I hate the fitting in the box. I mean, growing up, I got a lot of head lice because of my daycare. Don't get me wrong. I got head lice. I and I have very fine hair, so that comb, oh my god, to this day, I will shave my hair off before having to do that lice comb ever again. But it wasn't the fault of, I mean, lice happens. The daycare owner did their best as soon as they found out they had a problem. And my mom didn't go crazy. She's like, well, this sucks. And I learned the horrors of a lice comb. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's the same down here. It takes a village that no one wants to pay for, but they like to complain about it. Don't get me wrong. They love to complain about all the things that they're not getting, but they're not willing to pay for things. Like, I don't have kids. I will pay extra for good education. I would love to see my taxes go into the shitty ass roads because I have to pay taxes on my car every year. I have to get it inspected every year. Like, I have to pay a lot to even just take my car out of my driveway. And for it to fall into car-sized holes to get it fixed again, to pay the taxes so I can continue to have the privilege of driving it, is very, very much a circle jerk. I would gladly pay a little bit more in taxes to have better health care, to have better education, and for those taxes to go to those purposes. Not be paying those taxes and then all of a sudden Congress goes, oh, well, all of these taxes that we're doing a really good job paying for our roads and our health care and our education, we need to go fight pretend wars now. And I really am kind of bitter about how much my dad was a Department of Defense engineer. Don't get me wrong, but we even in the good times, we're only making middle class, if that actually still exists. That kind of thing. So but my dad is also a boomer. Like he and he was very good with money. He was very smart in investing and paying things off and whatnot. And while I am not drowning, I'm definitely not able to just be like, here, have 10 grand to do this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and the corruption needs to stop too. And that's one of the biggest things is the greed and the corruption ruin it for a lot of other people. And even though the greed and corruption is a very small percentage, it's the squeaky wheel that gets that needs to get the grease. Needs to be addressed. I'm not opposed to people on food stamps and welfare getting what they need. Like if they want to have steak and lobster and they've saved for it, we all know that with like down here in the States it's called SNAP. If someone's getting steak and lobster, they're paying the full price and that's coming out of their funds. They'll have to pony up somewhere else for it. There's nothing wrong with that. I also believe that it should be a taper program as someone becomes more successful. The benefits taper off because they need less of them. But you make $2 more than the cutoff and they take everything away. So where you could have been comfortable getting a little bit of help and do it and your new income, the second they take it away, you collapse and you fall back into the pit. So it's not conducive to helping. It is keeping people in the system where other people can bitch about you being in the system. I'm almost done the column. That's exactly what I think that should be done. Is like, how can we help? Like, how can we build our workforce? It's not what's wrong with you. Is how can we? Where is your journey? Are there going to be people who abuse it? There always is. That is the nature of human beings. But the 0.01% that abuse should not be taking the lead of how everybody else is being treated. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Well, big co- I would argue the big cost up front, because if you set it up like initially, yes, big cost, because there's still a lot of people who are on the system. But if you utilize it to be like, okay, so what are you trying to do? Where are your goals? What are your aspirations? And then help them reach at least base level to those aspirations. And have it be like, okay, well, if we don't see this progress, we will be having to cut you off from funding. And there are so many slippery slopes. Like if someone needs drug addiction treatment, that's all they should be focused on until they are clean. Like until they are solid, until they are in a good, they should be that fully funded to get in rehab, have the support that they need to get clean and move away from that environment, because so many people are scared to move forward because they focus on what they are going to lose and not what they're going to gain. And at least here in America, people focus on, oh, well, you'll be losing this. No, what are we gaining by moving forward? What, like, I'm gonna whip it out. I'm gonna whip out solar panels. There are so many people bitching, oh, we're losing precious farmland. We're losing our fields, and we're losing this and we're losing that. Okay, well, that is a fair loss. But there is technology out there. I've posted it a couple times on my Facebook of solar tiled parking lots, which are more expensive than putting panels in the fields, but they're parking lots. Cars go on them. They're getting charged because we're going to have parking lots. You can change the lines. You don't ever have to repaint them. You can move all your lines underground. It's a very large upfront cost to do this. But moving forward, it will pay for itself. We will have less down lines in the storms, at least up here in where there's winter. Winds won't touch as much. You can make them know how to drain water properly, so they don't get flooded in the areas where it floods. Like what you're gaining from doing this hard work all up front is such a bigger and better reward than what you're losing. And people don't see that. When you're trying to make progress, don't look at what you're losing, because you always lose something moving forward. Something is going to be lost. What are you getting in return? I'm also a huge supporter of universal income to force employers, because I like to work. I would always like to have some sort of job. I like to work. But having a universal income would force employers to actually treat us like human beings. Because if we don't like you, we're still getting a baseline of, I say $40,000 a year. It's nowhere near enough to do everything you need to do. But in a baseline of $40,000 a year, with universal health care, employers need to treat their people like human beings in order to keep them, or they could just go to an employer that treats them better and they'll still be able to pay most of their bills. But we need to tax the rich down here in order for that to happen. And suddenly I'm on every, and all the governments are watching me. But hill I will die on. We are all human beings. And yes, there are bad apples. There are bad apples, like just like there will always be people gaming the system. But I don't know about you guys, but from what I've seen, gaming the system, we if you, have you seen the American president? That's what gaming the system happen. That's what happens when we don't hold people accountable. And a lot of crime comes from need. If people's basic needs are met, if they are fed, if they are clothed and they are housed, if those base level needs are met, crime drops a lot. And it doesn't even have to be amazing universal health care, but people get what they need. Like diabetics get the option, and I want it to be an option. Personally, a finger stick and needles is not my lifestyle. I would like a CGM and I would like my motherfucking pump back. But if someone doesn't need to have a CGM or isn't on insulin, they shouldn't be forced to have a pump. But the system should meet the needs of the person. Equity, not equality. Equity. Meeting the needs of each individual. My TISM doesn't need as much support as someone else's TISM might need. So I don't need too much support in that area. I need a lot of patience. I need a lot of patience from everybody who interacts with me sometimes. And if you don't have the patience to interact with me, I totally understand. That is the blessing of my TISM. But I need a lot of patience. Patience is mostly free. And I would like to consider myself a high-end contributor to society. But I still have needs. I still sometimes need to have the ability to be like, no, I don't want to do this. And especially when my sugar crashes, I need the ability to stop everything that I'm doing and take 30 minutes, which I don't get. I've never had a job where I can just stop for 30 minutes because even if I try, they're like, hey, we need you to do this. Hey, and they don't respect the seriousness of the disease. And that's very frustrating, but that's a whole nother bitch point. No, you did not tell me the Remsima story. Kind of sounds like Nogsima. Ah, okay. I got that off my chest. I feel better. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, another piece of string. And that is the equity. Well, that's the equity I'm talking about. Is that they just do it for everyone. It's because disability is the easiest minority to get initiated into. Have glasses? Guess what? It's a disability. Like so many disabilities have been accepted into the mainstream, so it doesn't really count, or society doesn't feel that it really counts. But in all actuality, any sort of thing that you need to aid your function. Hello, Spoopy! Did you get your book? Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Now, from the author. Once you're done reading it, please go to her Amazon page and give a review because it boosts her. She is doing this all on her own. Yes, the publishing company is doing a little bit, but she's pounding the pavement just as much. So once you get done reading the book, please give it a review on Amazon. I'm only streaming. I'm only streaming today and tomorrow, because I actually, funny enough, the author of the book is getting shoulder surgery Wednesday, so I'm going down to help her Thursday and Friday because she also has a small. It's a hobby farm. She has goats and chickens, and I was like, do you need help? And she's like, if you could come down for a couple days. I'm like, done. We're done. So I'll be going down to help her. In 5 minutes, I'm going to show off what I worked on this weekend. And I think this is going to be another $200 dragon, just because of size and complexity. And you'll understand when I show you just the bits and pieces that I have done. And not even all done. Like, I'm working on the wing right now. The wings. I used to be better at posting it on my Facebook page too. And I need to get, that's one of the things I need to get back into the habit of doing. With the with some of the stuff I got today, it's going to be my website's going to get a boost of a it's going to get a boost, I should say. I'm going to be taking pictures and getting stuff on there, so okay. So it's here. I'm in the weird awkward area. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, I totally understand that. I in call dance, in Buffalo Woman too, I made a mistake somewhere. And in the bigger one, sometimes if you don't catch it immediately, um you're fucked. But I have determined in these ones, I'm just going to go down to the bottom of the page, and I'm going to, if it doesn't line up with the page before it, we'll work it out at the very bottom, like at the very bottom of the entire piece is where I will stop, whether the page is done or not, because at the very, very bottom, there's generally not a whole lot of detail. So, and at the end of 3 feet, no one's going to be looking that close. And especially with Divine Instinct, where it's like 3 colors. I guarantee you the bottom row is all 939. At least the bottom 4 or 5 rows are all 939, so it's not going to matter if I'm 1 or 2 short. But yeah, oh, it is heinous. Heinous. I hope that expresses how much I understand what you're going through. Or what you went through. I'm almost done this column and then I get to go to another one. 939 is my nemesis. So I have a whole pile. I have a whole pile of white t-shirts, and they're all husband creature size. So they're extra large shirts. That I'm gonna play with some. I'm gonna be playing with some tie-dye with them because I've seen some really spectacular patterns that I want to experiment with my set of colors. And so I might toss a few of them up on the website. Mind you, they're just Hanes t-shirts, extra large, they're nothing special, but they might be a limited run if people want to buy them. Limited being one of a kind. I generally just, at least with crocheting, unless it's really, really, really big, I leave my mistakes. Like I'll do, especially when I'm working in the round, I'll do an increase or a decrease to fix it, or several decreases in some instances. Okay, I'm gonna mark off this line. Confuse the dogs a lot. I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on. Now, this pattern is the Adult Dragon. It's by Crafty Intentions. I'm going to grab the body and I'm going to show the wing that I'm working on. And I'm still trying to decide whether it's going to be 150 or 200, but this is going to be another one of my showstoppers because this is a big dragon. Okay. Now, I had the tail on to put the tail fins on to take a picture, but I took that off. So this is the body. Super cute. It's about 3 feet long. Super cute. Look at his butt. Look at his butt. I actually found a good stable wire. It's a 12 gauge wire for the body. So this body is very, very well supported. Like it is. It takes effort to actually bend this particular body, and I'm in love because these critters are very heavy structurally, and the jewelry making wire does not cut it. 18 gauge is barely holds it. 18 gauge folded over barely holds some of these skeletons. So I have some 15 that I'm gonna try, but I also had some 12 that I got from Goodwill. I think it's 12, but I got it and I'm like, I'm gonna try it in this one, and so that's what I've been using, and so far I'm in love with it in this particular dragon. And I'm going to hand paint a couple of the scales to match the accent color, which is, it's going to be gradient, so the wings won't have the same shading, the tummy won't have the same shading, but it's going to have the gradient wing. It's a long stretch, so it's going to be different shades all over and I'm kind of in love with it. But this is the wing size. Like this is, let's see if I can get my hand going on here. I'll pinch it between my, it's about 1.5 feet. It's my, and the wire doesn't get installed till later. So right now it's very, very floppity flop. But that's what I was working on this weekend. I have a pound of white yarn. And there's a good dent. There's a good dent in the pound of white yarn. I'm getting better at the stitches. Like when I look at the body and the stitching and whatnot, it actually looks like dragon scales. And I'm so proud of myself because it's taken a lot of hard work and patience to get my stitches nice, neat, and tidy. The Native Americans intentionally, the First Nation, they intentionally make mistakes on their beadwork so that you know that it is made for real. And I believe it. When there's a mistake in handmade work, that makes it one of a kind. My dye work, there's only that one piece is going to be I can use the same colors, I can use the same tying pattern, but every piece is going to come out different. And I love that. Okay. Closing in on the end. Oh, that's cool. Closing in on the end of the column. But with the with the white dragon, I'm going to take my acrylic paint markers and I'm going to color little patches of scale to match. So there's gonna be pink and red scaling on the dragon. I'm also going to add a little bit of beadwork. And I'm not talking pony beads. I'm talking the seed beads that are dainty, delicate kind of things to add a little bit of zhuzh. One of the patterns I bought today is called, let's see, let me look at the pattern name. It is called the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I have enough of a shade of a gradient purple that I'm going to probably make one for me. My phone is ringing with potential spam, and I don't want to answer it, so I'm not gonna. I sent it to voicemail last time it called, and it didn't leave a voicemail, so. Oh, no, it's been a different number, too. I'll have to investigate that. Okay. Ooh, I support this. I support this. I am a two-handed stitcher, as I don't know if it's actually visible while I'm stitching, because I've always been a two-handed stitcher. That's why I like my frames. My sacred crafting time. You will be the next sacrifice. Hi, thank you for calling in to Stitching, Bitching, and Healing with Ra. Still so upset they won't let me put bitchin'. But I do like kvetch. I have answered the phone and gone, is it done yet? That was a fun day. They were very confused. Mostly because it's almost the end of the page, but Once this color is done, legitimately, like there'll be almost nothing left in the page to do. And I find it hilarious and scary at the same time because there'll be, I mean, there's a lot of like one or two color stitches that I need to get the 939 done before I can do the patches of the one or two colors, because they're just little stars out in the area. Oh, we have upset the delicacies, the delicate nature of Feature. He is bored. Oh, they didn't even tell me they were playing ads. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Which is frustrating. Okay, I think I'm just going to be okay with finishing the column today. It's still a few more stitches, but I have not highlighted or hit the check. I have not hit the checkbox, I should say, of any of the stitches that I have done. So I want you guys to guess how many stitches I got done today, because I don't even know. We'll find out all together once I'm done this column. I know it's more than 100. We actually got more than 100 done today. Got whiny dogs. I can't hear them. Enough! It's actually a pretty nice day out, so I'm probably, once I'm done streaming, I'm gonna go kick something for them. Okay, we got 250 for one. I think I'm 285 is where I'm at. I don't know. I have not hit my button. I still got 250 for one. I think got 250 for one. I think I'm 285 is where I'm at. I still have a couple more left to do. Okay. Last 2 stitches, and then I'm going to hit the button. Got a highlighter. And this gives us a column finish. This just finishes this column right here. So tomorrow we'll start on the next ones. Okay, so I said 285. Jules said 250. And the actual retail count is 300 even. Nice. And yuck. I'm you know what? If you're a smoker, just recognize it's stinky and yucky. Like, okay, everybody. So, thank you for the gift of your time. Drink your water, take your meds. Be kind to yourself without harming others, and be kind to others without harming yourself. I will be back tomorrow, 10 to 12-ish. Well, I have a whole column to finish, so I'm hoping 10 to 12. And I will see y'all on the flip side. And hope everybody